Hey guys, Matt here, and today I am back with Fallstreak. Last video, well, took me forever to upload because apparently I didn't have enough free storage, which is annoying. Anyways, enough about that. Let's get into the next chapter. Well, we got a character experiencing some madness. The splashing of boots against Succatrine's stone path. It was the only sound that challenged the rain's unchanging vigil. Just reorganizing. I was being followed. My head begins to buzz again. I had known this would happen. So why? It's because you wanted this. My heart was whispering to me. It's because, deep down, you want to slaughter everybody. What should have been splashes of transparent rainwater gradually transformed into splashes of searing red. To burn the world for what it's done to Mallory. Or what it had done to Mallory. The red illusion had once again spread its stains over my soul. But I did not reject it this time. I let it seize my heart, swallowing down the burning drop of black heat it tempts me with. The ordeal lynching. Those who did it, and those who stood by and let it happen. This broken world, who received her sacrifice, and continued on as if nothing had happened. It's just like nothing at all. I can't accept it. I won't forgive it. Target has been located. Pursuit squad is driving them towards the designated capture coordinates. All auxiliary teams are moving in to surround and contain. Something wrong, Cordero? I don't like it. It's going too smoothly. An invisible itch that could not be scratched. Years of experience that had taught me to heed that itch. Pursuit squad to command. We've lost visual of the target. Over. All units fall back. Regroup and fall back now. At that moment, the sounds of screams and clashing steel rings out. Oh. Report, what's your status? Can you see what's going on? Captain Seymour peers through his binoculars. I can't tell. The entire area's covered in mist. Damn it, why now of all times? The screams were dying off. Before long it falls completely silent. Let's move up. Seymour's body jerks back out of my line of sight. That was sudden! Oh, there was a line there that I didn't get to read. When I turn around, I find him splayed all over the ground, several meters away, with something sticking out of his neck. Hey! Hey! Stay with me! But within seconds, he stopped moving. The stab in the neck is probably like the one place where the person's not gonna hang around. The knife had plunged into him with such force that it had severed his spinal cord. Oh, it was as if he had gotten hit by a cannon. Who in the world is this person? I was all alone now. The sound of falling rain was all that could be heard. No. That's wrong. Footsteps. Slow and deliberate footsteps. Heading in my direction. Clip, clap, clip, clap. From within the mist, a figure begins to materialize. Minos Master, the Phantom. At long last they show themselves. No, this can't be. The blood runs cold. Amenae? The clothes were drenched in blood. You might want to run, dude. She's got the madness infection. Her face, expressionless. But even then, it could not mask the madness seeping from her form. Clip, clack, clip, clack. Slowly. One step, two. She walks towards me. I stagger back under the crushing pressure. But when I do... Rah! The world turns upside down. Pain. Pain unlike any I had ever experienced. Its burning tendrils lance from my sides and constrict my entire body. Staggering to my feet, I try to orient myself. But no matter where I looked, mist was all that could be seen. Run. Run away, father. I need to get away. Ugh. Clutching at my injury, I take off into the mist. I need to get away. Footsteps. The sound of footsteps. Behind me. In front of me. Inside me. Everywhere. An endless labyrinth. An endless dream. Nightmare. Curse. I had no idea where I was. All I knew was that the strength was slowly bleeding out of me. I didn't have much time left. Amenae. Why? Clip, clack, clip, clack. The sound of footsteps ringing through the mist, ringing through my skull. It burrows into my brain, gnawing away. Clip, clack, clip, clack, clip, clack, clip, clack. Exhausted, I crashed to the ground. My legs weren't listening to me anymore. I had reached my limit. The sound of footsteps had stopped. The mist gone. Nothing remained but the sound of rain. I dragged myself to a nearby wall. Resting my back against the cold stone, I gaze up at the sky. My eyes fall shut. At that moment I knew my time had come. When I open my eyes, I find a dark figure standing over me. Amenae. Gah. Gah. Something cold slices into my chest. It hurt. It hurt a lot. Her face was right before me now, as if to substitute for absent tears. Rain streamed down her features. But what I couldn't take my eyes off was how pained she looked. As if she had been the one that was stabbed. I see. I cough weakly as something warm flows up from deep within. I'm sorry, Amenae. I made the same mistake. The same mistake that I made with my dearest beloved. The warmth dribbles down my cheek. It falls to the ground below. I thought I understood you. But the truth was, I didn't understand a thing. I'm sorry. Why? Why are you apologizing? Yeah, that is a good point. Why is he apologizing? And also, she doesn't have her red eyes anymore. Because my beloved daughter's been suffering for all this time. I never even noticed. Father, please promise me something, Amenae. Promise me that you'll reach out to someone. Reach out to your family who loves you dearly. Don't make the same mistake that my wife did. Don't try to bear everything on your own. The world was so blurry. As if to cling onto it, I reach out weakly. So dark. So cold. It scared me, how I couldn't see anything anymore. But then, at that moment, something takes hold of my quaking hand and gently steadies it. Her touch. It was so warm. Smile at the comfort it brings me. I'm coming to join you now, my dear Louise. The world fades to black, and I sink into a deep slumber. Drip, drop, the sound of blood. It seeps into my fingers. It wets my steps. Why? I was running away from something or after something. I didn't know. Why? A vision of spreading red. Red that blossomed out from underneath Cordera's lifeless body. Red that swallowed Mallory as flames engulfed and consumed her. Red that gorged into Alouette's eyes as she tended to Lynette and Dia's corpses. My head was buzzing again. The buzz even won't stop. A certain beat up building. Mary and I had once called this place home in the past. Throwing open the front door, I tumble inside. A puddle of cold water accumulates under me as I sprawl onto the ground. Tiny dots. As if to reject the unhalted movements, they swim through my vision erratically. I drag myself through the darkness. I grope around blindly. Eventually, I come across a bucket full of water. Plunge my hands into it. I had to wash the blood off them. You'll never be able to wash it off. Yeah, bloodstains do suck, don't they? A yawning abyss. It whispers to me. It swallows me up. Come off. Come off. Come off. Over and over again. Until my hands are tender. Until my hands are raw. I scrub. But no matter how much I scour them, they remain stained the same icky dark hue. My fingers feel like they're encrusted in the sticky substance, preventing them from moving freely. Go away. Go away. Go away. My skin was going to tear at this rate. But I don't relent. Why? Why can't I wash it away? I peer into the bucket. However, what lay inside was not water. What lay inside was... I knocked the bucket away. Bucket of blood? As it rolls to a stop, glowing shades of liquid red begin to spread from its fallen form, staining the darkness. My hands were coated in the writhing red. It consumed me. It was consuming all I held dear. I'm sorry. You're not human. I'm sorry. You're a monster. Someone like you should just die. My father was always hard to understand it. Orchard's voice wakes as he stands before the room of mourners. On the surface, he was always laughing, but at times his face would suddenly grow dark and solemn, and I wouldn't know what he was thinking. Whenever that happened, I would always get the urge to ask him what was on his mind. But my voice would never come out. I always ended up just staying silent. Why is that, I wonder? He grips the podium with such intensity. The wood creaks. He was a man that didn't talk about himself a lot. Even though I'm his son, there's so much I didn't know about him. I think that's why he was always laughing. So that when people passed by him, they'd smile and shake their heads, thinking, what a fool. His laughing face was a mask. A mask that hid his true self. I think I might have been afraid of what lay behind that mask. Afraid of the weight he carried inside him. I don't remember anything about my mother, you see. When she died, I was very young. But whenever we visited her gravestone, it felt like he became a different person. A person chained by regrets of the past. Orchard takes a deep breath. Maybe that's why he threw himself into his work so much. He was the first person to know something strange about the disappearances surrounding Middlelost. My father believed that someone was behind the disappearances. That someone was killing the people of Sucketry. Even when people doubted his claims, he persisted. It was his duty to protect the people after all. Eventually it came to light that he was correct, and he formed a team to catch the killer. But that's when Orchard's voice cracks. Tears begin to drop onto the podium before him. Unable to speak any longer, Orchard bites his lips and lowers his head. For a long time, he simply stood there, trembling. It was difficult to watch. It's difficult to read. Orchard. At that moment, someone stands. Lord Cecile Cotard. Hey, it's the dad of the first character that we've been following for most of it. The reigning sovereign, however the word's pronounced, of Sucketry. But also a childhood friend of Orchard's. Your father was an honourable man who laid his life on the line for circuitry, the miskillings and all the murders leading up to it. No matter how much of a demon they may be to have slain so many, together we'll find the perpetrator and have them answer for their crimes. The ironic figure is that it's right amongst the people. The killer that we're looking for is right amongst us. You have my blade, and the blades of the lost children. Another person stands. Or tune. Ah! Billy! Belisa Ria. Pharaoh. Miss Fair. The heiress of the influential old aristocracy House of Pharaoh. She was another childhood friend of Orching's. Another friend of mine. Know that your father always had your best interests at heart. Even when we were little, he would always scrape the bottom of his wallet to buy materials so you could pursue your passion. You are not alone in your grieving. Many families that have also lost loved ones mourn alongside you. The phantom of Minelost will not go unpunished. You have the House of Pharaoh's unwavering support. One by one, people rise to their feet, sharing their strength and solidarity with Fortune. You better stand up, Amenae, otherwise people will start suspecting you. Although, also, they wouldn't be suspicious of you, in a way, if you didn't stand up either. That fiend won't get away with this. We'll show them no mercy. We will not rest until Cordero has been avenged. The streets are not safe until that killer has been caught. You can't catch this killer. This killer's too smart. Before long, the entire room was standing. Allies of the Lorette family who had all come to mourn the loss of someone dearly beloved to them. Thank you, everyone. Together we'll find who did this. I hope Amenae stood up, and we'll bring them to justice. Social justice. I see. This feeling of being crushed from all sides. This must have been how Mallory felt on that day as she faced the crowd. Cursed by everyone, forsaken by all. It was like the entire world was against me. But that was only natural, because I am a monster after all. The sound of falling rain. Though slight, it helps drown out the buzzing. I remember I had once dreamed of seeing a world full of colour. In a way, my wish had indeed come true. A twisted, tainted hue. The red illusion. There was no longer anything that could escape it. Kalia, Triss, Fortune, Alouette. Not even they were safe. I wanted to carve them open, just like I had with Cordero. A maddening desire to gorge and rend, to kill and gorge. It wells up from deep inside me, causing my hands to tremble. As if I'd allowed such a thing. All I need to think about is how to prevent harm from befalling them. If there is something that threatens them, it must be eliminated. Therefore, if I am a threat to them, I simply have to eliminate myself. Having arrived at that conclusion, my feet lead me to a certain place. Heavens Fall. A bridge where the lost and weary yielded their lives to ever get. Eh? What are you thinking? You followed me? For me to not notice, it was proof of my mind's deterioration. Why? Why? I gazed down at the rapidly flowing water. I didn't want to look at him. You don't have to do this. You don't have to bear everything all alone. Why? Why do you always try to bear the weight all alone? Aim, please. Lean on me. Let me help. Please promise me something, Amenae. Promise me that you'll reach out to someone. Reach out to your family who loves you dearly. I'm lost. Lost in a sea of uncertainty. But maybe, just maybe, a step back from the edge. Amenae. Fortune rushes forward and wraps me in his embrace. He was shaking. Don't scare me like that. Before losing you, so soon after losing Father, I wouldn't be able to bear it. I have to tell him. Stealing my heart, I pull away from him. But unable to meet his gaze, I stare into the dark void below. Watching. Yes? The words couldn't come though. They stick in my throat. A clump of hot and heavy air. Where does it aim? I was terrified. So terrified that I couldn't stop shaking. Please, you can tell me anything. I know who the Phantom of Amenae is. The air around him changes. What? You know who did it? You know who killed Father? It was as if he had become a different person. If you know anything, please tell me. We need every clue we can get. No, Fortune, wait. I see. So that's what it was. I was only thinking about myself. Father's death must have affected you so much as well. It's only natural. I'm afraid too. Anyone would be. The Phantom slew dozens in cold blood after all. Someone like that isn't human. His words cut into me like a sharp blade. They gorge my insides out and spill them across the cold ground. It's okay if you're not sure about it. Every bit of information helps. The investigation's been cold for so long after all. Yes, with this, we'll finally be able to find them and make them pay. Oh no. It was the same. His face. His face was the same as theirs. I'll kill them. Kill her. I'll make sure they burn hell for what they done. Burn her. It was the same face that the crowd wore on that day, at that time. Only then will Father be able to rest in peace. Only when that monster is dead. It was too much. I couldn't bear it anymore. I stepped back. I wanted to run away. Wait! Watching grabs my arm. Let go. Please. You know something, don't you? Tell me. Too hard. What? You're holding too hard. But that only causes him to tighten his grip. What's wrong with you? I don't get it. I don't understand. Why won't you tell me? He reaches out with his other hand. Burn the witch. Ugh. Kill him. Watching was below me now. His pale, defenseless throat. It was right before me. Tear him apart. My body moves. I watch on as my fingers wrap around his neck. He's the same. The same as those who murdered Mallory. Aim. All I had to do was tighten, to press down and squeeze. It would take nothing at all to wring the life out of him. But despite that, Orchard doesn't struggle. Without a hint of resistance, he gazes into my eyes. Why? Why aren't you resisting? Because the one that's really hurting isn't me, isn't it? The one that's truly hurting is you. Reaching out slowly, he brushes my hair to the side. You're crying so much, after all. The clear raindrops drip down onto his face from above. Aim. The tension in my hands melts away. I rise to my feet. Don't follow. I turn my back on him and take off into the rain. Aim! Amenae! His voice rings out behind me, but I don't stop. I was a fool to think I had any allies in the world, because I'm not human. I'm a monster. The rain had begun to intensify. Facing the sky above, I watch on as the falling rain transforms into curtains of wreathing scarlet. I wanted to deny that dripping red with all my soul. But the hopelessness biting me swallows up any attempt I make to cry out. It was like trying to scream underwater. The deluge simply rushes down my throat, muffling all attempts to voice myself. It was a struggle to even breathe. I shut my eyes as the red illusion slowly consumes everything in sight. I couldn't contain it anymore. My desire to kill. My desire to eat. It was overflowing. So much that the very next person I met, at that moment, an impossible silence descends upon the world. The sound of rain had disappeared. In its place, one sound alone rang out. Footsteps. Little ones. Like those of a child. I opened my eyes blankly. A small figure was heading down the path in my direction. It was someone I recognized. Someone I was very familiar with. Oh, it's Mummy. No. My body begins to move of its own accord. No. Run. Run, Kalia. What? What just happened? Cold water was dripping down my face. Sorry, Mummy, I couldn't resist after seeing how drenched you already were. Whee! Making use of her rain boots, Kalia vaults over a puddle. When she comes down, water sprays everywhere, including on us. I watch on in a stupor as Kalia dances through the puddles. This is a nice little break from what we've been experiencing. There was a strange magnetism to the way she completely absorbed herself in the act. It stirred something in me. Huh? My body moves on its own. I plunge into a nearby puddle, sending geysers of water through the air. At first, Kalia seems surprised, but then she laughs and her feet join mine. Together, the two of us dance under the rain, punctuating the air with a symphony of splashing that crashes lyrically against the patter of raindrops. Kalia's desire for fun saved her life. Dissonant, yet also harmonious. It was a strange feeling like that. The sound of Kalia's laughter. It drowns out the buzzing in my head. White's clear, the red lingering at the edge of my vision. It was nonsensical, foolish even. But even then, deep in my heart, I found myself wishing this moment could last forever. Phew! I'm soaked. Indeed. The two of us were sopping wet now. We're really dumb, aren't we? Why did we do that? But though she says that, there was a big grin on her face. Can you make soup when we get home, Mummy? Kalia begins to walk. My feet naturally bring me to her side. It was a well-ingrained habit of mine. Most parents hold on to their children's hands to keep track of them. But since Kalia had no hands to hold, I had always been careful to match her pace as she grew. Soup again? We had soup last night already. But I want to eat soup. Soup. Animal crackers in my soup. Monkey rabbits loop the loop. Kalia sways and bulbs as she walks. She seems to be in a good mood. She was just a child, but maybe I should ask her. Kalia. Yes, Mummy? Have you ever thought that I'm abnormal? Different from other people? Kalia tilts her head quizzically. Eh? Could it be you're self-conscious about the scar on your tummy? I think you need to grow up, Mummy. That's nothing compared to the burn marks on my face. This little brat. Wah! A little more water wouldn't make any difference anyways. I don't know why I bothered asking this little runt. Eh! Mummy's pouting. I got to see so many new faces from you today, Mummy. Hey, Mummy. What? What now? Thanks. I can't remember the last time we played like this. It was really, really fun. Turning to look up at me, she grins widely. I would too. Rain is just like that thing where if there's puzzles, it's just fun no matter what. Her smile, so clear and colourful. It hurt to look at. Unable to bear it, I avert my gaze. Mummy? Her voice sounded different. Mummy. She had been so bright and cheerful moments ago, but now she looked like a lost child. What's wrong? You love me, right? Me and Daddy and Triss? You love us, right? Of course. I want to tear out your insides from time to time, but of course I love you. You know that. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Kalia laughs. But it wasn't like her usual laughter. It was an anxious, uneasy laugh. I guess I just want to hear you say it sometimes. I don't know. Is that weird? Maybe I'm being too needy. Mummy? Earlier, when we were playing in the puddles, you were smiling, and it made me really happy. But it also made me really sad, because it made me think about the time I last saw you smile, and I couldn't remember. Kalia. Her lips tremble faintly. She stops and lowers her head. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. But sometimes I get scared. I get scared that you'll go someplace far away. Big wet tears. They gather in her eyes and meld with the rain streaming down her face. I wanted to reach out and wipe them away, but I couldn't. Because even now, lingering visions of the red illusion were binding my hands. You won't leave us, right? I was torn. She wanted me to stay by her side, but so long as I drew breath, she was not safe. Mummy, please tell me you won't leave us, right? I couldn't answer. Felt like my chest was being squeezed dry. Felt like the world was collapsing in on me. It was so dark. It was so cold. At that moment, a light impact strikes my side. I won't let go. Even though she couldn't hold on to me very well, she clings to me. I won't let go. She was so bright. She was so warm. My sweet dear Kalia, I'm sorry. The world is cruel. Cruel to have made a monster like me your mother. I was a fool. I was a fool. A fool to have returned home that day. Perhaps somewhere in my heart I had hoped the red illusion would not return. How ridiculous. The story Mother had told was unbelievable. From the fire collapse to the mist killings to Grandpapa's death, it all seemed unreal. The red illusion. That had been what she called it. It all made sense now. Why Mother never kissed us goodnight. Why she never wiped our tears away. And why she never held us, no matter how much we longed for her touch. It wasn't because she didn't want to do those things. It was never her wish to deprive us of the physical affection and intimacy we craved so much from her. Now you know, Triss. Now you know what a monster your mother truly is. You're not a monster. I wanted to shout that out with all my soul. It's not your fault. Anyone would break if placed in such a cruel situation. And yet you suffered silently for so long. Your father's right. Someone like me isn't human. Why? It hurt. It hurt to hear her deny and demonize herself. Why does she have to suffer like this? Hasn't she been through enough already? I am unable to express the feelings bubbling up inside me. I take my hand and press it against my cheek. I let my hot tears brush against her skin. Triss. Her fingers lace along the path my tears leave behind. They correspond. To me, your clear eye was the one absolutely beautiful thing. I wanted to fill it with colour and ducks. Innocent things like that. Why ducks? There's other things out there. More than anything, I didn't want to show you this side of me. I didn't want to see you make such a face. But in the end, I tried to kill you. You should hate me. I shake my head against her head, furiously, as if to reject the mere notion. I love you, Mum. I love you more than anything in the world. You struggled against it. You tried to fight it. And when you lost, you despaired. You're not a monster. You're human. An obsession that neared desperation. More than anything, I wanted my thoughts to reach her. But it was useless. No matter how much I wanted to, I couldn't make my heart known to her. All I could do was tremble pathetically in her arms. In this deep, dark well. Don't be naive, Triss. I know exactly what you're thinking. I'm your mother, after all. Does she have mind reading powers? Crying for another's sake, even when you're hurting so much yourself. You really are just like her. I couldn't see what kind of expression Mother had as she whispered to me. Colourless. Meaningless. Even though I had no right to live, I clung to life for all this time. A dark ceiling without a star. You were the light that allowed me to make it this far. I love you, Triss. Thank you for being born. Burying my face in her hair, burying her face in my hair, Mother kisses me deeply. The rivulets running down my face become rivers. They break and submerge me. Dawn is breaking. The two of us watch on as the whole of light above us begins to brighten. It felt liberating, but at the same time it felt suffocating. Triss. Mother's hand leaves mine. An aching longing wells up within me in the absence of her fleeting warmth. Listen carefully to me, Triss. I am going to die soon? For a moment, her words don't register in my mind. When they do, I pull away from her. My body trembles. I was afraid. afraid to look behind me, afraid of what I might see. Triss. Blood was leaking from her mouth even as she spoke. In the light I realized the darkness staining the well was red. I'm going to die. But you cannot die here, Triss. Oh boy. You must survive. Moa retrieved something from her pocket. A blue handkerchief, as blue as the boundless sky. Using her blood as ink, she scrawls a message onto the cloth. Then she secures it to her knife. Triss, it's quite misty in here, isn't it? At first I couldn't understand what she meant. But when I blink, the world changes. Whoa! The prismatic mist. At some point it had engulfed the entirety of the world. Ha! Mo's body shifts within the mist. The sound of creaking. No. Cracking. Like wood bending and snapping. Was she trying to get up? No. Stop! I try to reach out. But stay back. The strength from the voice overpowers me. It roots me to my feet. It shouldn't have been possible after falling such a height. But there was no doubt. Mother was standing. Right before me, she was standing. Triss. Mother extends her hand towards the circle of light overhead. Do you remember? When your father was paving the walkway in front of our house, you and Callie walked through the fresh cement. I didn't know what she was trying to say, but the resolve and desperation in her voice was unmistakable. I had to listen carefully. What she was saying was important. You and Callie walked through the fresh cement. At first your father was very troubled, and the two of you started to cry. But then he smiled and it said it was okay. Do you remember what he did? Yes. He filled our footprints with colourful clay moulds and etched our names alongside them. Then he laughed and called it a happy accident. Picture it, Triss. Facing the circle of light overhead, Mo draws the knife back. As if to split the fairy mist before her. Close your eyes. No. Guided by her voice, I let myself sink into darkness. Come now, try to imagine the yard in front of our house. The grass that you and Callie have played so often. It is wet with morning dew. The birds are chirping. In the distance, the sun is rising. Try to imagine it. You are standing right there. A vision of our home spreads out before me. It was vivid beyond belief. I can hear the birds chirping, the wind on my skin, and the sunrise. It was beautiful. Picture it, where those footprints lead, what lies at the end of the path. Crystal clear truth, a reality dictated by and woven by our hands, paints over the canvas of the world, overriding the walls of the universe. Oh boy! Now, look up. At that moment, something flashes through the air. Time crawls to a crawl as it passes before my eyes. Frog in the well. A knife. A knife with a blue handkerchief bound to it. It splits open the sky and shatters the vision before me. I forced my eyes open. The mist was gone. The only thing that remained was Mo's figure, her right hand stretched out before her, as if reaching for the distant sky. The knife in her hand was gone. I see. So that's what it looks like. The boundless blue sky. Thank you, Triss. Thank you for showing me a world full of colour. What just happened? It happens as if in slow motion. Slowly her body tilts, and she falls. Oh, jeez. Mum? I rush to her side. Triss, they should come now. When you hear them, pound on the walls. Kick at the water. Struggle with everything you have. I'm sorry that this is all I can do for you. No. I'm sorry. Oh my god. The light was fading from her eyes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Regret that rang out like a prayer. I'm sorry. Her chapped lips, repeating one thing. I'm sorry, everyone. Mallory. Alouette. Father. Fortune. Kalia. And Triss. No, no, no. I'm sorry you had such a monster for mother. With those final words, Mother's eyes fall shut. It was deafening. This tiny world where her breaths were no more. Cursing herself. Rejecting herself. Even as she lay dying, she had carried the burden to the very edge. As if being forsaken by the world was not enough. As if dying in this cold, dark well was not enough. It was too cruel. Why? Why am I so powerless? I couldn't save her. No. You're the reason she's dead? That is not it. She's the reason you're still alive. She saved you. If only I hadn't chased her. If only I hadn't pushed her into water. Maybe then she'll still be alive. It's all your fault. Lifting my arm feebly, I reach out for her. The silence that gripped the air was broken by a faint buzzing as my hand overlapped hers. It was then that I noticed. Long splashes of vivid red were staining my arms from the elbow up. That dripping red was burning into the pale white hand I held. That detestable red was spreading, blossoming out from underneath her. Oh shoot! Oh shoot! I see. I shut my eyes as it crawls up the walls, engulfing everything in sight. What the? Stay back! Stay back from that! Stay back from that! Jeez! So this is the red illusion. Nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. I don't want to deal with that. Apologies about that. Even with my eyes closed, I could still see. Her lifeless body was draped in dripping red. Anyway, guys, with that disruption, I might actually end the video here because recording isn't the only important thing I gotta do. Anyways, links to my YouTube page and my Twitter page will be down below, along with a link to Amenae for you guys to go check out. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a like on the video if you love the character Amenae. She was such an awesome character, and now she's dead. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Mad Scientist, out.